Welcome back to the Thin Ice Podcast.
What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
All right, welcome back to the Thin Ice Podcast. I'm your host, Asher Warren.
And I'm Ethan Nickel.
And today we have a very special guest, Dead Meat.
Hey, what up? Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming on.
We have our first question.
Yeah.
As of recent, there has been a lot of horror movie sequels that are modern in that they take place like a set number of years after the original, like usually like a lot, like 30 years. And that's like Halloween or Texas Chainsaw, like those kinds of like where it's like actually 30 years after.
Yeah.
One of which you were in, right? Scream. And
yeah.
What is your take on those kinds of sequels? Like, do you think any have done in particular any like justice to the original?
Yeah, I think that because you guys, you're young, you're in college now, so
17.
you weren't around for the early 2000s, living in that space, in the horror space, right?
Yeah.
I was a horror fan, and I remember being so disappointed by what was coming out in theaters. And in retrospect, yeah, there's plenty of good stuff there, but just as a trend, horror definitely was not catered to. Horror fans were definitely not anyone who people were trying to make sure were satisfied with the product. So I think it's really remarkable and awesome that we get these sequels when they're good, obviously, that take place so far later and take place in the same universe and are acknowledging and respecting the originals and trying to have this through line with them. I think Scream does it well, obviously.
Yeah, Scream did it well.
You know? Yeah. But it's saying, well, it's been this long. This is why these characters that we are bringing back with the original actors look this much older. And we're examining what happened in the world that they live in, which it may or may not be the same world that we've lived in. So they've experienced the same kind of things and changes and cultural changes, especially with Scream.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool. And frankly, yeah, as someone, if I could go back in time 20 years and tell myself that this was happening, it'd be unheard of. Like what they're actually respecting, like they're acknowledging crazy. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and bringing it back, even though that one wasn't great. But it
was fun. But
yeah, it's not the worst of the franchise. There are plenty worse in that franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Halloween probably, at least in my opinion, did it best. But
Halloween 2018, I think, is excellent.
But then I think it had the biggest downfall with, Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is okay. I remember seeing that in theaters, and then Halloween Ends. I was like, well, come on, man.
Yeah, it's
what are we doing here?
They definitely went a certain direction with that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't a Halloween movie. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and then with Halloween too, it's like it also is going to affect you. Everything that I just said might sound like bullshit if you're a huge Halloween 4 through 6 fan. Because you're like, oh, they're not respecting us. They're ignoring all of that.
Yeah,
and if you are that legit, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult for the filmmakers if they wanted to maintain all that continuity, just because it's so messy. Scream, thankfully, had a smaller series to work off of where it was much cleaner, more simpler continuity, but
less messy.
Yeah.
Halloween's pretty messy. I mean, Season of the Witch. Like, wait a second.
Yeah. I'm waiting for one movie that somehow brings them all into camp. That's what we thought Halloween Ends was gonna do with Season of the Witch, and I think there was talk of it revealing like a silver shamrock mask, and then they were like,
you saw the other mask kind of throughout the movie. I think it was the kids on the swing set had those.
and Kills.
Kills. Yeah, and I kind of thought, because I saw Season of the Witch, it's been so long. But I was like, maybe they're going to tie in, and then they never did. So I was upset, but still, Kills wasn't bad. Kills was okay. Yeah.
Had a lot of good kills.
It did, yeah. No, it did.
True to its name, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then, so some subgenres of horror, I feel like, seem to be dying, but not being made, it's being made too much. Like, if you see Exorcist movies, you're getting a new one every week. Like, how many Pope's Exorcist are we going to have? And then just a few years ago, we had the not that great sequel to Exorcist, like just the original series. Do you think, what subgenres of horror do you think are underused and should be revived? And do you think, are there any that we've had just enough of?
That's so funny. Yeah. We were literally having this exact same conversation last night with, we are going to be on, I think it's fine to say, Darren Lynn Bousman has a podcast.
Cool.
And so he had Chelsea and I and it's Darren and Josh Stolberg who wrote some of the Saw movies. They're having a podcast, and we were part of a discussion about genres, exactly like trends in genres.
Okay.
Our answers were that horror musicals are undermade.
I
You don't
agree.
see a
Sweeney
lot of
Todd
them.
is so good. I saw that in Broadway. Actually, I
Oh,
got to see it
cool.
in Broadway, and it was incredible.
Wait, like recently with Gatton Matazzaro?
I think I saw it last April.
Okay.
And
Was he playing Toby, the kid from Stranger Things, or no? Did he cycle out by then?
No, I think that was
Okay,
someone else.
okay.
But it was still Sweeney Todd's so good. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Sweeney Todd, and then obviously with Darren, there's Repo, the Genetic Opera, Rocky Horror Picture Show, but like there's not a lot. There's not a lot.
not a
of
lot. You're right. Not a
musicals.
lot.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's such a hard sell.
It is.
It's production wise, box office wise,
Yeah.
like for the business. It's like, all right, we're gonna make a niche of a niche, and hope it makes money.
A24 and Neon, I feel like they could.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
Yeah, right?
They're doing a lot of small, like with the Filippo brothers. They started off as YouTubers. Now they've got Talk to Me, and I just saw Bring Her Back the other night.
Oh, it's so good.
Kind of hard to watch, kind of gross.
I loved it.
Not gonna go into it, but
And what's funny with Bring Her Back is that was another one that we brought up last night because as a trend that Chelsea and I have spoken about being sick of is it's the horror where it's a metaphor for grief. The whole movie's about grief. Because Babadook, great, but it kind of kicked off this trend where it's like, and then you wind up with a fucking woman in the yard, It's like, okay, we get it. But then here comes Bring Her Back. It's not like a metaphor for grief, but it is all about grief, and it's amazing.
it reminded me of Hereditary a little bit.
Yes, for
It
sure,
reminded me a
which
lot
is
of
also
that.
a great one.
Hereditary was amazing. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like independent filmmakers actually getting to do their stuff nowadays. Or like smaller films like I wouldn't call this guy independent at all. But I feel like Osgood, he kind of started off with like not super mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
And then last July, Longlegs, which we were grateful to attend the premiere for.
Oh,
then,
cool. Nice.
Yeah. And then The Monkey, which just came out in February, which was so fun.
Yeah. And then he's got another one coming out right away. Like, it must be so surreal for him to
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
have lived in this like indie space for so long, making these like very lesser seen, smaller movies, and then it just blows up with Longlegs. And then it seems, I mean, to me, it seems like he acknowledges like, oh, I've made it. I need to like strike while the iron's hot because he is not resting.
No.
He's pulling a Flanagan and just working nonstop, cranking stuff out.
Stuff's good,
It's crazy.
though. Stuff's very good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he brings a lot of that like indie vibe to like these bigger movies. Like I find it very very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And
good. And this year is such a good year for horror. It's so incredible. I mean, you got The Presence, which I saw in January, and then like The Monkey, Sinners. Just saw for the third time the other day.
Yeah.
I feel like, but I have heard from some people, which I think they're crazy, but they think that they're complaining that they feel like only horror movies are really coming out so far.
oh, what
recently.
in like general in movies?
So I think it's great for horror fans and people that like horror because I feel like the genre is kind of being revived with more original things. Like, sure, there's some remakes, like sequels, like you got like Megan 2.0 coming out, and it looks like I don't even know, but then like just have stuff like Sinners. I think it's just such a good time for horror movies. I feel like it's being revived.
And
I'm
it's also
so
interesting
glad.
because, like, you look back at all these other times throughout the genre's history, and it's easy to point to trends and through lines. And like early 2000 or early 2010s, you have a whole bunch of found footage movies coming out after Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
But right now, I think it's really hard to pinpoint a trend. Maybe in retrospect, we'll be able to say something. But right now, it feels like everything is being made and everything is being made well. Like, if you
and
want,
it's also different.
Yeah, like if you
good.
want like a crazy gory slasher, here's Terrifier. If you want
Terrifier,
that, but maybe a little bit more YA oriented, here's Clown in a Cornfield or Final Destination, Bloodlines. There. If you want something more cerebral, obviously those are out there, or something more. Sinners has like music in it. It's so
Sinners,
yeah. The body horror with the Substance and Evil Stepsister. Everyone has a chance to enjoy the particular subgenre that they may like. And so it's really hard to say like, oh, this is the time of horror being like this. I don't know. It's great. And I love that variety.
Yeah. We're getting everything except for the musicals. I mean, we got
except for the musicals, man.
Except for the musicals. We got to get those, dude.
I haven't even thought about that subgenre until today. Like I never like considered it because like
well, the problem is it costs more. Like musicals are going to raise the budget. It's
Yeah.
hard to do a cheap musical, and the whole appeal for a lot of studios when it comes to making horror movies is, oh, we can make this cheap and get a good return on it. So they're not going to want to fork over the extra money for a genre that also turns people off. How many people like with the I don't know if it was last year or a few years ago, there was like a run of musicals that just didn't advertise themselves as musicals. It was like Mean Girls and West Side Story and stuff like that. They're like, here's a movie. It's maybe got some music in it, but like you can still enjoy it.
Yeah. I saw some people calling Sinners a musical. I don't think it quite gets that, but it does have so much music, and maybe if some filmmakers start copying that trend, maybe a musical will come out of there.
It'll morph into a musical.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like the original Wicker Man in that there's a lot of diegetic music, like music where the characters themselves, it's not like breaking reality and singing to us, the audience. It's music that everyone within the film hears.
I'd argue the one song Miles Catton's character Sammy sings, I Lied to You. That was kind of very musical-esque.
For sure,
going around with the ancestors, the burning.
The best part of that. It's so good.
It's just done so well. Yeah, it was incredible. And this is more of a personal question. The Thing is my favorite horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite movie. And I know so many people, including him, interpret the ending differently. I want to know what you think of that. The end, like, is one of them the Thing? Are they both? Are neither of them? How do you think that movie?
That kind of thing doesn't really matter to me. I'm like, okay, I've enjoyed the movie, but if I had to pick, I would say that they're both people, because I think that that's the most tragic ending, where they are both humans. They could help each other out somehow, but they just will never trust each other. There's no way for them to fully trust the other, and that's the impact of The Thing and the whole movie that we just saw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why? What do you feel? What do you got?
I don't know.
Do you think he's drinking gasoline? Are you with that theory?
No. I don't know. When I saw, because I've seen the movie a couple times now, I for some reason still have the suspicion, where did Childs go? Mm-hmm. But then I've heard the claim that maybe McCready was it. But my argument for that is, if he's it, I think they both have to be. But they're both acting so weird in the end. I don't know.
But if they're both, then they would know that they're both,
I feel like if they were both, they would wouldn't be suspicious of each other. I think
they would do like their Thing handshake. They'd be like, all right, guys, we did it. Nice.
I think they're both human. I think they're both, because that was my take, and it's like the opposite of his take.
Yeah, I know. If there's a sequel, I'm gonna kill someone. Like, the prequel was horrible. They didn't leave the movie alone.
I think about the prequel is because they did a lot of the practical effects, and they just covered it up. I often see like on the aftermarket, like props go up and like makeup artifacts, and it's just like the most incredible stuff, and it's like, it's kind of sad. Like, I mean, like stuff like that.
We're getting a revival though, with stuff like The Substance, with practical monster movies, or like even Alien Romulus. I know it's not original, but a lot of it was practical, and they did such a phenomenal job.
There's definitely the filmmakers who are coming in right now and making films. They, I think, grew up loving practical effects and are doing everything they can to make those happen. It's always, it's always a balance between what they can afford, what they're able to do, just because whenever you get practical, even with practical blood, like, I hate digital blood. I think it always looks bad, but if it's practical, that means that, like, you get your one shot where it explodes, and if something went wrong, now you have to wait for cleanup, you have to reset everything, you have to get a change of clothes, so like it's so much messier and more expensive.
Kind of tying to that, in one of his previous questions about, I'd say, like, sequels with Final Destination. I'm not going to get into spoilers in case people, but I saw it, loved it. I see a lot of people complaining that they think the kills look super digital, but then I've watched a lot of behind the scenes, and I was kind of shocked how much practical effects they actually used in it.
Well, that was the same case with the fourth one, the Final Destination, the 3D one.
The difference is, though, is that the fourth one looks bad.
Fourth one is awful. But I remember looking at that behind the scenes, and I think it's in the Kill Count. I think that was when I started to do the behind the scenes stuff, where I'm like, why are we seeing all this amazing practical stuff, and then it looks like garbage in the end result? Horrible. And I think, I don't know if it's just a matter of them, like, wanting to touch it up and going too far with that digitally, or what. But it was
a nightmare, man.
I mean, even the producer who we talked to, who loves the series, he talks shit about the fourth one. He's like, it's bad. It's bad.
You can't not talk shit about the fourth one. I mean,
apparently I didn't realize that it happened during it was affected by the writer's strike in 2007 or 8. So there was like external forces weighing in on that. I don't know how much better it would have been otherwise, but
this story was still, like, the characters. I couldn't even, like, what was the one guy's name? Hunt, or what was him? The kind of
that was the pool guy. At least Hunt's a real asshole. At least he has a personality. That main guy, I don't even remember what he looks like, dude.
He's like if you take every generic like white 20-year-old and put them into a morph, I think you get him.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like,
It's like
even
the
the end,
Animorphs. He's the end result
dialogue.
of just like throwing them all in there.
Yeah, like even the ending scene where they're like in that coffee shop and they're talking to each other. It's like it's not even a real conversation. It's
Yeah.
like they're just I don't even know, man. I'm so glad that the 5th was actually good and same with the 6th. Like
Dude, if Bloodlines, man, I'm so happy it did so well. I love what they did with it,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited for more.
Yeah, and Tony Todd's final scene, that was
Oh God.
incredible. And when I
That was
found
a
out
mess.
that his talk, I almost cried when I found out his
No, I
talking
cried
was,
outright, dude,
yeah.
for like 10 minutes. I don't know what happens next in that movie after that scene. I have to see it again because it was a mess.
But when I found out that when he was talking, he was ad-libbing it, and they just told him speak how you feel, and that was him talking about because he knew he was going to pass him.
Mm-hmm.
That he was so well done in that movie.
Yeah,
And
and as someone who has had the fortune to speak with him and spend some time with him, I could tell right away that like what he was saying, that was Tony. That wasn't Bloodworth,
Yeah, I kind of got that. I mean, like I grew up on like Candyman, and like I saw that when I was pretty young. So like knowing that's his last movie, it fits. I feel
it's perfect. No one could ask
great.
for a better send off than
I mean,
except for
Bloodworth
me.
is just great. Yeah,
So good. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Kind of interesting segue, but so you've probably been asked this question at least once, hopefully. So while watching some old interviews that you did at some horror conventions, we noticed that you asked this question a lot. So
This is like kind of the question.
I feel like it's the question, and it's probably gonna have
That I would ask other people.
No.
Or-
You would ask. You would
that
ask.
people would ask you. I would
And you have asked other people.
Okay. Okay.
So you're the kill count guy. What is your favorite horror movie kill?
oh
at least
yeah.
at least the one that stands out, at least as of recent, because I know it's probably a really difficult question.
I mean, the go-to answer is always Jason X face smash.
Yeah, with the crowd freeze. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's partially because of how amazing it is. It's got that practical, like the frozen tips of the gore and it's falling off. And it's also partially because like that was one of the first big horror movies I got to see in theaters.
Okay.
I was like 11, maybe
Oh,
12.
okay.
And I made my dad take me and like 8 of my fucking idiot friends into the theater. And I'm sitting there with a notebook, like writing down the kills as they happen for my fucking website. So it was just like, I just remember seeing that movie in theaters and loving it. And having such a great time. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of good ones. I think an underrated one, because I have, looked at lists of like best kills. And obviously they're going to have like Psycho as the number one, the shower.
Yeah.
And it's like, from a filmmaking perspective, I can totally see that. From us, sick fuck perspective, we want to see some viscera in there. I think
Timmy.
What?
Final Destination 2, Timmy, the glass pane.
Oh, the glass
That one
pane.
is
That's a good one. Yeah, just flattening it. Yeah, that's good. I think an underrated one that I never see on those lists is in Slugs, where the guy's head blows up with slugs inside and slugs go flying everywhere. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's real nasty. I love
fair.
Slugs. It's such a gross movie, and that
So kill
kills.
count for that. It was a weird movie. Yeah, weird.
Yeah, it's a weird horny slasher from the 80s.
Yeah.
But that guy, he's like starts coughing up blood into his glass of water, and then his head blows up with slug. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we like having movie nights where we'll watch like a modern horror movie, only indie, and then we'll try to find like an older horror movie that like didn't have that many reviews. So recently we saw a movie. Was it Sting?
Sting.
Wait, the spider one?
It had it was new. It was new.
Yeah,
It was
the
definitely new.
spider one?
The spider one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We saw that, and then afterward we watched The Burning.
And honestly,
Oh,
Sting-
okay, nice.
Sting impressed me a lot. Like I didn't expect much from it because it was kind of a
Big spider. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
but it was actually a lot. It was a lot less cheesy than I thought it would be. So
Zoran really likes Sting
Oh,
because
okay.
it's got that it's got heart to it.
It does.
It's got
That's what we like.
we
That-
literally said there was so much heart.
When we finish it, we didn't expect. We're like, wait a second, I cared about those characters.
Yeah.
like there's no way. Like watch what was the movie Big Ass Spider? Like have you seen that?
Is that a movie? That's the name.
There's
of
a
the
movie called Big Ass Spider, and it gets. I'm pretty sure it gets so big it like climbs like a building. It's so bad, but like I kind of expected it to be like that.
Okay. Wow.
And
from 2013.
it's bad.
Lin
It's-
Shaye.
It's real bad.
Oh, that
real
looks
bad.
like a big ass spider. Yeah.
Yeah, I did look this thing up, Ethan. But Sting, like, actually, I don't know. I feel like it didn't get the recognition because it didn't get that much. We kind of took a little bit to find it, but like, I don't know, indie movies recently, they're so good, and I feel like they should be given more the attention that they deserve.
Yeah, Sting came out, or at least had a wide release the same time that Infected did, the French spider movie. So I think that ate into it. It was kind of like how the first Omen and Immaculate came out like back to back, and they're both like these nun movies, and it's like both are good in their own ways, but it's gonna, people are gonna be like, oh, didn't I see that one? Like people all the time post on kill counts being like, didn't you already do this one? I'm like, no, it was another white guy on YouTube. Like it wasn't me. Unless it says recount, it's my first time talking about it.
Same like Exorcist movies, nun movies. I feel like they're all just kind of, they get mixed up.
Yeah. I mean, how many fucking Exorcist movies with Russell Crowe do we have now? isn't Russell, isn't he in 2 of them? Like, he's in 2. And it's the Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb fun. It's like a national treasure type movie with it. And then, is it just called The Exorcism?
It's something
That's the thing, even the names.
And aren't they? Are they different universe? I haven't seen either of them, and I never will.
They are. They're totally different universes.
See what I mean? Like,
And then there's an Al Pacino one coming out with Dan Stevens.
I saw that. Yeah, I think I saw it on like a live stream. You mentioned that. I'm just not gonna watch. Like, I can't do it anymore.
I can't.
It like physically drains me to watch Exorcist movies. And same thing with like, I'd say like shark movies too, stuff like that. Like you got like 47 meters down, and then what was the other one? It was like 48 meters, something stupid, and then you got like The Shallows. Like that was pretty good. And, like the
Shallows, Deep Blue Sea classic.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah. The Meg, if you want.
Yeah, the Meg.
That. Yep.
I saw the second movie at 1 a.m. and I don't think I could have actually sat through it at any other time. It was just like.
Wait, the Meg 2?
Yeah, the Meg 2.
Once they get to Fun Island, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like the Fun Island stuff.
With all the dinosaurs involved.
Yeah, they're like kind of like some dinosaurs. And then, but like when they're like walking around on the floor of the ocean, I just remember being like, "What the fuck am I watching right now?"
I don't know. I feel like movies that take place underwater, they're horror movies. That might be one they don't get made as much as I want them to. Because I remember seeing Underwater. I think it was only a couple years ago.
Yeah,
being a plot twist, it was a movie about Cthulhu. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, it was Lovecraftian.
And I love that. But like, I feel like they should have advertised that. They kind of kept it hidden. And like, those movies don't really get made. Have you seen Underwater?
I've not.
It's a movie
That's
where
with
like
Kristen Stewart, right?
Yeah. They're on this like oil rig and like TJ Miller. It's a weird cast.
And, I forgot.
Yeah. TJ Miller's in it, and then out of nowhere, it's like at the very end, Cthulhu, like light, and you just see Cthulhu like rise from the depths, and then it ends. What?
Oh my gosh.
It was so weird. I don't know. Movies, there's so much interesting stuff that's either coming out or not coming out that they should. But 2025 is good. I can't complain about them, especially with Rising Stars. If you want to talk about like Sophie Thatcher.
Yeah, Sophie Thatcher. We were talking about how she was in 2 pretty great, I think at least, great thriller / horror movies like
Heretic and Companion.
Heretic and Companion, yeah.
And
it's like
great.
I loved Heretic.
I haven't seen it yet.
He hasn't. I'm trying to get him to watch it, but
it's good.
I think it's one of my favorite ones. I don't know if all time, but like I also really like Companion. I think
I love Companion.
Companion was so good. I got it spoiled for me before I saw it that they were like the spoiler warning, the robots.
Yeah.
But it was still incredible. And like Lucas Gage as well. He went to our high school.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, nice. I feel like he's got a great future ahead of him, man.
He does. I mean, like you got Companion. You had Smile too. He was only in for a brief amount of time, but his emotion, the way he looked so terrified in that scene was so good. And like White Lotus, he was in White Lotus, and that show is. I just rewatched season 1 with my girlfriend. I binge watched all 3 seasons in I believe 3 days. Like that show is so good.
Yeah.
So like it's these, and like I'd even say Margaret Qualley kind of rising, because my first time seeing her was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I know she was in a bunch of other shows, and then like The Substance was just incredible.
Yeah, and I forget if she has anything else lined up in the horror space.
I'm not sure, but she should. That's the thing. Yeah, she should.
It's funny that we're already getting like a new cycle, because I feel like for a while, and they're all still working and doing great, but my idea of the new horror actresses was like Anya Taylor-Joy,
yep, of course,
Jenna Ortega, Micah Monroe, Samara Weaving, and I feel like there was a few more, but like, and they're all still working, which is awesome. But I do feel like now we're having even newer actresses come in.
And I think great because
Yeah.
it's not like they're in like shitty movies. Because like Companion, like we said, great. Smile 2, somehow better than the first. I don't know how they pulled that off. Good on them. And then you got like The Substance, which is just, I can't glaze that movie enough. That was so good. Yeah. Yeah. My dad told me to watch it. He was like, "Hey, I got this weird movie. I know you like weird horror movies. You should watch this." And I go, "Okay." And
You're a little weirdo, right? Here, watch this shit.
He got me into horror movies when I was 3.
Oh,
and then,
cool. Nice.
My mom was not very happy. And then I watched it. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then with the Oscars, like Oscars acknowledging horror movies now is so, because I remember Silence of the Lambs one, was it the Big Five?
Yes.
Yeah. And that movie, that's in my top 3 horror movies. It just has to be.
Great, yeah.
And then I think Sinners might do the same. I know it came out earlier in the year.
I don't know about the acting awards. I feel like it's so much of an ensemble. It'll be hard for any one actor to stand
Don't they have
out.
an ensemble award though?
They
like,
do, and I think it might be a lock for that,
I
or at least
think-
it'll get a nomination for sure.
I think
but
for sure it could also get nominated for best original song.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I lied to
Uh-huh.
is on my playlist. Like that song's
Yeah.
incredible. And same thing with score. I mean, the whole.
Oh yeah.
My
Oh,
God.
it's Sinners. Sinners, I think
Yeah.
will be nominated for like I don't know, just
It could
back
get
of the-
director,
like 10
because
director.
It's
Yeah.
Coogler's 6th film, I think, only 6th.
Yep.
Like
5th or 6th. Like it's down there.
'cause
Yeah.
He has Creed, Black Panther, Fruitvale Station. I know some others.
Did he do a sequel to Creed or not? He didn't.
I don't think he did the sequel, and same with
Okay.
Black Panther. I think he only did the first.
Then I
no,
think-
he
I think
did the
it's number
second. He
5.
did the second. Yeah. Okay, it's 5 then.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm like, and then Michael B. Jordan playing Smoke and Stack and having them be like shockingly different characters.
I think the issue though they might run into is who's lead and who's supporting between Michael B. Jordan and Miles
Sammy
Teller.
and Michael Scadden. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's fair.
That's true.
It's tough because like you could argue either way, and it always gets weird with those categories because sometimes they just choose the less competitive category to run someone in.
You can maybe even consider supporting for Jack O'Connor as Remick. I mean, he was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, Sinners. I'm excited to
Yeah.
see what it gets nominated for because I
Yeah.
think it'll be multiple things, and then we'll see if there's a chance that we can get 2 horror movies nominated for Best Picture this year if Frankenstein does really
Okay,
well.
yeah.
Because I saw that trailer and was blown away. It looks
I
so
think it
cool.
might be getting a theatrical release as well. I don't think Netflix has taken it to themselves.
I know, like, listen, I live in LA. It'll be in a theater here.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
yeah.
like, some theater in this town is gonna put that movie out. I'm pretty sure.
We're gonna be in the theater district of Boston, so hopefully they do the same thing.
Hopefully, I know, right?
Yeah.
That's the benefit of living in the
Yeah.
city. Is like,
Yeah.
what these events come around and like limited things happen where you live, which is really nice. And
Del Toro's incredible. So I have such high hopes.
It's so funny. Like this movie has been talked about for
years.
so long.
Yeah.
And now it's finally coming out, and like, I mean, just from the trailer, I'm like, this looks fucking great, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw some people complaining about a Lordy as Frankenstein. I'm just telling them like, shh. No. In the novel, he's described as strangely beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like a Lordy might be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Like, he's a decent looking guy, and he's already.
Does that come out in
6'5".
November?
I think it's November. Yeah.
Okay, I want to reread the book before the movie.
We had to read it for
We read it
AP Lit.
recently, so we had to read it for our class.
Yeah, I've been reading. I've been trying to read more and more lately. I'm almost done with Annihilation.
Okay, I started that movie a long time ago and never finished it. Not because I was bored. It's because I was younger and Mom was like, "Time to go to bed." I feel like I need to revisit that. Because,
dude, if you can, I know it's so much easier said than done. But we saw it in theaters, and that experience, the sound design in that movie is
I know,
good.
I've heard.
So,
I know.
Yeah, obviously, you're not going to find a theater that's playing it in 2025. But if there's a way, it's so good. If not, biggest screen and best speakers you can find.
Yeah. We can. We'll in our dorm. We'll rent some like crazy.
Yeah.
We'll do something because like that movie just looks. Because I remember a while ago I saw like the scene with the bear and how it's like screaming. You can hear the bear roaring, but at the same time a person kind of yelling behind. That movie, it looks insane.
Yeah, it's so trippy with all the human hybrids with everything else going on, and the visuals are just beautiful. I love that movie so much. I definitely want to cover it on the Kill Count sometime just to bring more attention to it.
Yeah,
but it's so funny. The book is very different, and then there's like 3 sequels to it, and I just ordered them all. I'm like, I'm in. I like this.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel like that'd be a pretty good one for the Kill Count if you're, especially now that you're talking as of like, I wouldn't say recently anymore. It's been a while, but more about behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and talking
yeah,
about that. I feel like that'd be a really good movie to
definitely for sure.
do that with.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right.
Yeah, we got Zoom has given us our little warnings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. Yeah. We just got a big screen that's saying time left.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Zoom's killing us, man. Sure.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I know
Thank
that
you so
asked
much for
like
taking
years ago. Was that when you first reached out?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that was rough. It was like
That
3
was-
years ago.
that was like-
We were in like I think freshman year, and we had no idea what we were doing. So we were like, if we spam him, he must say yes.
Did you spam me? I didn't. That's
we
not the
sent, like-
impression I had. I
sent,
didn't
like-
think of you guys as like a spammer.
you responded once or twice, and then you like had some sort of conflict, and then I think one of us sent another email, and it probably I don't know how it looked.
And then we were like, okay, we can never reach out again. And then after the premiere, we were like, okay, because we didn't know we were going to the same college. And then we were like, okay, you know what? If we're not going to the same college, we've had this podcast since 7th grade, like long time.
That's
now.
amazing.
Long
Yeah.
time. We only
Congrats.
post like once a month. It's just for fun. It's just for
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
We don't
yeah.
care.
That's
It's like
fine.
for our friends. But we're like, okay, you know what? Because when we started it, we were obviously watching your videos because we're obsessed with horror movies. We're like, you know, if we ever get a guest, this is who it should be. So we decided, you know what? We're definitely going to send a much more respective email. Let's try one last time. No,
We were
follow-up.
boys. Now we're men.
Yeah.
Now we know how to
If he
write
doesn't
an
respond,
email.
We'll leave it at that. and then we were like, oh, okay. He didn't.
It
he didn't
worked.
say, like, screw you guys. No.
Dude,
Yeah.
if I had all the time in the world, all those requests that I've ever gotten from fans and smaller podcasts, like I would do them. It's just, you know,
No, I know. You guys
don't have the time, but I'm
stuff.
glad that we were able to make this work. And that we did the secret trick. It was like, okay, let's set a date 6 months from now, and I will put it on my calendar because it's free now, and then I just won't schedule anything else for it. And we kept to it.
We actually was a shot in the dark because I'm going to be traveling all of July and most of June. So when we said we were free all summer, we weren't. We were just really hoping that because like my 18th birthday is like Monday, and then from then on I'm busy. So we were hoping.
Oh, wow.
Like, we were hoping, okay, this weekend is like the only one that works. Let's pray he says then. And he did.
Nice.
So, okay.
Hell yeah, dude. Well,
Yeah.
happy early birthday.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for taking time.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Talk with us. It's been great.
Yeah.
We'll-
You said you're going to school for film?
Yeah, Emerson College. Yeah, Boston.
Great. Hope
Yeah.
to see something you make someday.
Hopefully, yeah. Right now, we're trying to do some more stuff. We've done a couple short films. They're not great, but they're progressively getting better.
Dude, yeah. As long as you keep doing them, just
Yeah,
that's what you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah, we're trying to do another this summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we're gonna try to release this Friday 13th. So
Nice,
gotta get
perfect.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Great.
All right. Yeah. All right. But thank you so much again.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Keep doing all the great stuff and have a wonderful day.
Thanks a lot. You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Well, guys, pretty successful interview.
Pretty successful, I would say.
Yeah, as we told them, and as you guys saw, when we first started this, our dream guest was James A. Janisse, and we've completed that.
We've completed our
quest.
final goal, our quest.
Well, all right, Ethan.
And remember, folks, you're on thin ice.
But also good.